Well, you know, it is Valentine's Day, and I thought it was appropriate. We do a piece on the show here called If They Made It, occasionally. This is a piece where we use advanced computer technology to see celebrity couples, what would happen if they got together and had a child. We can kind of look into the future with computer technology. Well, we thought since it's Valentine's Day, why don't we do kind of a fantasy if they made it? You know? Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Igor. This is, you know, this way, what we'll do is we'll look at some celebrity couples, people that actually haven't been couples, but what if they were? Wouldn't it be fun to imagine? Let's do that right now. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it'll get the show started off on a romantic note.
Fantasy.
Thank you. All right, here we go. First one is Princess Di and JFK Jr. Now, these are two people that haven't been a couple, but what if they were? What if they got together and they had a child? What might that child look like? Let's see. Oh! God! I'm both attracted and repelled. Man.
That's an ugly kid, but he could get a table at any restaurant in this town.
True. Any club right to the head of the line. Okay, here we go. Now, this is two other people, well-known, who are associated together, but they aren't really a couple. But what if they were? I'm talking about Marcia Clark and Robert Shapiro. Come on, it's Valentine's Day.
You know you've been thinking about it.
You've been all thinking about it. Let's just imagine, what if these two were to get together? What might happen? Let's see. Oh, man!
We're in the graceful swan-like
Yeah, that neck is...
Let me just make up for the
Dana, just one more. Let me just see that one more time. Wow. Man. For the love of God, shave. Okay, here we go. Now, here's two people that haven't been really thought of as a couple, but what if it happened? I'm talking about sumo wrestler Conan Fanatic and super waist model Kate Moss. What would happen if these two got together? Oh, it's kind of true. All right, see, we learn.
We sure do.
Stay away, Kate Moss. Stay away. Okay, now let's look. Looking now, this gets a little strange, but it's a fantasy, so we can pretend. What if these are two famous paintings, the Mona Lisa and the Scream? All right, now what if somehow, some way, in another dimension, these two could get together and have a child? What might it look like? That's a good look for Susan Powder.
Good.
Sort of in the nice, beautiful Italian 14th century countryside. Okay, now here we go. Here's another kind of strange one. Talking about political mascots. All right, of course we have the donkey and the elephant from the two different parties. What would happen if they actually merged, got into one? What would happen? Let's see.
The audience is all going, that's what you heard.
Yeah, that's what you heard, them seeing. See, there's more to these. It's not all just goofy fun.
Right.
Sometimes we make jabbing political points with this show, and we'll never do it again. We're very sorry. All right, now I thought this would be appropriate. We did a couple of those, but it is Valentine's Day, and it's our show. We can do whatever we want. Why don't we do our own fantasy if they made it? You know, people get to know us a little better that way. Like, for example, Andy, do you have, I know you're happily married, but do you have a, you know, kind of a fantasy, if they made it, that we could share with America?
Well, other than my wife, the only woman that I could think that I would want to have a child with would be Our Lady, the Statue of Liberty.
Andy, that's very nice. That's a really nice sentiment. Andy and the Statue of Liberty. What would happen if they made it? Let's just see.
Good to know.
If only, Andy.
Yes.
If only. The pitter-patter of Bob's big boy. Okay. Now, Max, what about you? I also know that you're happily married, but, you know, share with us. Do you have, like, a kind of a fantasy if they made it?
Well, Conan, really, I can't think of having any more meaningful a relationship than with my drums.
With your drums? Well, that makes sense. No, that makes perfect sense. Let's see right now, what if Max and his drums, somehow in another dimension, they could sort of get together? What would they produce?
Yeah, that's it.
That's a happy threesome.
I'd love to see them, the three of them, on a walk in the park.
All right, well then finally, I guess this comes down to me, my own fantasy, if they made it. And, well, I'm a redhead with a comedy show, and I've always admired probably the most famous redhead of all with a comedy show, Lucille Ball. And if it were ever possible, I'd love to see, you know, what would happen if the two of us had been able to just get together? What might have happened? I'm just curious. Well, that's where Carrot Top is from.
Yeah. Bet you didn't know.
Carrot Top, we love you very much. Okay, folks, we're going to take a quick break, really, and when we come back, Paula Zahn's going to be here. We got a great Valentine's Day show coming. Stick around.
I'm happy being alone, even though it's Valentine's Day. It's better for me, really.
Mrs. Conan O'Brien. Phyllis O'Brien. Mr. and Mrs. Conan O'Brien. Conan and Phyllis O'Brien.
Oh yeah, it's Valentine's Day. Guess the wife will be expecting some crackers or something.
This underwear is really uncomfortable. It better taste fantastic.
Oh, Andy, if you only knew I was carrying your child.